Hi Capricorn, welcome to your general messages for the 23rd to the 30th. Let's get right into things. Capricorn, before we talk about this, what I'm calling this go big or go home eclipse with the square to Jupiter, I want to talk about Pluto for a second, because Pluto's been retrograde. It's been going on since April. It's going to continue through the third week of October for 6 months. And it's continuing to transform who you are at your very core, because it's in your first house of self. So if you haven't already started, be ready to do some very deep internal processing. The reason I'm bringing it up now is because I almost feel like we're at the end of the beginning portion of this Pluto retrograde, which is all about transformation. It's in your first house of self. So yeah, I just feel like there's going to be a lot of change. Everything from your image, it could be, you might decide to get a whole new look, right? To your sense of self. It's been slowly but steadily shifting over these past years, these past couple of years. And this retrograde offers you a chance to sit back and reflect on the person that you're becoming. So you really want to embrace the shifts. And the reason why I wanted to mention that, having to do with the eclipse, is because where the eclipse is happening. It's very interesting. I mean, the eclipse itself, the supermoon eclipse in the south node of Sag on May 26th, it's happening in your 12th house of the subconscious mind, of the hidden. Oh gosh, look at this. We got imagine, beautiful. Let me pull one more. To the sea. Don't do anything. Yes, this is good. Okay. I get very excited when the astrology lines up with the cards, because first of all, good news. Capricorn, I have good news for you. You want to know the good news? I don't think this eclipse, even though it's squared to Jupiter, is going to be impacting you in very much a negative way at all. It's like you, Cancer, and maybe one other sign. Maybe Taurus. I don't remember what I noticed. But a few signs are not going to be hit as profoundly as the other energies. Now, you still might have it as a huge experience, because I don't know what your rising sign is, what your nodal energies are, and all of that stuff. But this go big and go home eclipse with the square to Jupiter, right? What is squaring Jupiter? For you guys, you have Jupiter and Pisces in your third house of communication. So that's all about communication. The eclipse is happening in the 12th house of the hidden, of the subconscious, and it's sitting across the wheel from your 6th house of health, mental, physical, emotional. Has to do with your day-to-day work environment, just your day-to-day experience. So the sun Gemini is going to be in there with Mercury retrograde, with Venus, with the North Node. So there's going to be a lot of focus on that area, but it's a lot of internal stuff you're going to be feeling. In other words, I don't feel like where other signs are having these external things that are going to be sort of changed for realignment, it's going to be happening more within you and how you're viewing life. Right? So this is going to create a whirlwind in your area of your subconscious. So you're likely going to have an easier time, again, than things out in the 3D than most. This is going to be very, very spiritual for you, though. And despite the reputation that eclipses hold for bringing chaos and change, this is likely to hit you in a more subtle, a more quiet way. So you're going to have to pay attention in order to align with its vibrations. So what does that even mean, right? Yeah, you probably feel your subconscious desire shifting. You really want to get in touch with your mystical side. So just pay attention to repeating numbers, repeating patterns. If you're smelling things unusual, like if you suddenly start smelling things that are very sweet or very, if you suddenly start smelling things that are very sour, change location. Some bad vibe is going on there. But if you're smelling something sweet, if you are pay attention if you're seeing a lot of a lot of blue jays or cardinals, right? These are all messages, right? Pay attention to your dreams, because where this is happening is in your space of dreams. But what I like is you're going to be really looking at where it is that you might get in your own way, what it is that you really want for your life, where it is that you've allowed yourself to be martyred, where you've allowed yourself to be taken advantage of. Thinking about your spirituality in general, thinking a lot about people who have passed that you had a very deep connection with. It's a deep energy, right? It's lots of emotions there. 12th house is Pisces, right? And we have Jupiter in Pisces. So there's a lot of like this Piscean energy ruled by Neptune, which rules the oceans, right? It's our emotions. So it's an emotional time for you. but not necessarily a bad one, right? Because it's just I feel like very nurturing energy for you. Beautiful, Queen of Swords, nice energy. Now, this first spread is going to simply be general. So you can apply this to relationship, family situation, business, whatever. And then I'm going to do a separate read for relationship, just because I do get the most requests for that, right? So anyway, Queen of Swords, all about the truth, motivated to find the truth and the psychological motivations of others, right? Doesn't queen, king, doesn't matter. It's male, female, whatever. But she is very strong and experienced. You know, often a single parent here. But it's that idea of strength in adversity. I like to say with the Queen of Swords card, you want to see some strength? Find a single mother who's concerned about safety for her and her kids. You know, being able to have a safe home. That's strength. That's the Queen of Swords. But it doesn't have to be. This really can just be, because swords are air and truth, and being very focused on psychological motivations of either yourself. You might be doing some deep thinking just because you have a lot of that 12th house energy going on. And to have Imagine and To the Sea, this is very 12th house energy. To the Sea is really sort of sitting with your emotions. And Imagine is just everything in your dream space. It's nothing in the 3D. So you're going to be living very much inside of yourself right now. So let's see what's going on here. We have the Nine of Wands, and it's being challenged by the Knight of Swords. So the Nine of Wands is still having fire in your belly for a person or a situation. You're in a strong position, but you're tired because you've been fighting very long and hard in something, so you're exhausted. But you have the perseverance to see something through. So this is temporary, right? It's feeling, though, very defensive, right? You don't want to keep yourself in any sort of negative mindset, though. It might not be easy, because I do see a Knight of Swords energy is challenging you right now. So it's like you're hanging on to something, but then it's like this pain in the ass comes in. It's just like, because this is hard. The Knight of Swords energy is not easy, because it's about expect the unexpected, unpredictable, roller coaster energy, I always call it. It's highs and lows. It's sudden truths coming out, underlying conflicts being exposed. If you're dealing with this energy, though, as a person, this is somebody who's very determined, very driven, very forthright, ready to fight for what he believes in. And in relationships, this energy can get bored very easily. If this is in like business, this is somebody who's never really happy. In family, it's somebody who always has something to complain about, right? And so they come and they create a lot of drama. And then they move on and they take no responsibility for what's gone on. And you're sitting there like, what happened? Like, whoa. You know, in here, not a good idea to even try to reason anything out until like the dust settles in a situation, if you're dealing with that as a person. As an influence, though, again, unpredictable things happening. So however you're resonating with this, relationship, career, family situation, you holding on barely by a thread. It's 9 of Wands. What comes after 9 is 10 of Wands, which is complete overwhelm. So you're barely hanging on by a thread as you're dealing with this challenging person or situation. Crowning situation, the crowning energy, or the best to be achieved here, is good. It's 4 of Wands, so we like this. So this is creativity, strong foundation, success after completing something, very celebratory vibe. Your talent and what you offer to a person or a situation is very appreciated. So you're being very appreciated. So, you know, in the same way, for those of you resonating with this for relationship, this could indicate a new partner opening up their heart, telling you how they feel. Lots of affection, right? So we would call this the honeymoon card as well. If it has to do with a relationship where you're not meeting anybody new, this is you guys starting a new chapter in your life. Because what comes before the 4 of Wands is the 3 of Wands, and the 3 of Wands is all about moving forward in something, right? It's about, for some of you, it's like a wedding. So then we could call this the honeymoon card, right? Because the 3 of Wands is a wedding energy. This would be the honeymoon card. Or it's moving on to realize your plans, right? Maybe you moved in together, you have a baby, whatever it is. And we have the Magician as the foundation, which is nice because this is a deepening here. So if this has to do with career or money, this is a new beginning or direction in career. This could also indicate inspired leadership from a really solid and practical person who's who's just able to problem solve. And I'm saying problem solve because this is a Mercury energy, and Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. So Gemini is about communication, and Virgo, the 6th house landlord, is all about solving problems. So being able to crystallize something, make something happen. If this has to do with relationship, this is communication going really well. Any sort of issues or problems that you've been having are resolved through a deeper understanding of each other's needs. So this can even indicate some sort of joint venture happening here. So very nice alignment with the 4 of Wands. So the joint venture could obviously be a married life, or a child, or a home, or a business, or doing something with somebody that's sort of leveling you up. But you're dealing with this challenging energy here that you're going to have to get past first. So here you are as Temperance. That makes sense. Cooperation, moderation. For some of you, there's going to be healing. For some of you, there's going to need to be reconciling of a situation. So it could be reconciling with a relationship, reconciling some sort of opposing views, opposing opinions, whatever it is. So if this has to do with a relationship of any kind, there's a new level of trust and cooperation after some sort of struggle. So that could go for romantic, family, business, anything like that. If it has to do with both specifically like career or money, you might be just dealing with very challenging energies at work. Somebody's very aggressive, somebody's too sensitive, whatever it is. It just needs some empathy, patience, cooperation. That'll be fine. Just pay attention to your incoming and outgoing finances, right? But it's this balance. We get the balance card, right? Balancing, when the energy surrounding you indicates that there's a need to balance something, because that is the strength energy, especially if you've been feeling like something's been tested. So some sort of intimate connection's been tested, friendship, family connection. If you feel like you've been tested in some way, things can get better, but there is a need for balance, which you're going to be able to do because you're showing up as the Temperance energy. And when I say imbalance, I feel like because we get the strength energy, it has to do with somebody's ego needs to be stroked, or somebody needs to be calmed down. Somebody's ego needs to be calmed down so that they could be open enough to, because I feel like somebody has a lot to say, like a lot of strong opinions. And with those strong opinions and with a strong ego, it's super hard to have an open mind, right? So somebody needs some tempering. I almost feel like you have to handle somebody in your life right now, Capricorn. Somebody needs handling. While you're sitting, while you're in your boat and in your mind, like dreaming or whatever, out in the 3D, you're just like, I have to deal with this person. So I feel it's very interesting, deeply introspective time, but you're needing to temper things out in the 3D. So we have the Knight of Wands as your block. So this is fired up ambition, right? Now this could indicate some sort of events speeding up as blocks being lifted, decisions coming in any area of your life that you might be waiting to move forward in. So this could have to do with relationship, a business situation, a friendship, some sort of family thing. But things kind of like being fired up and moving forward. But this is in your challenge position. So what this tells me is there's some sort of block. You're experiencing some sort of block. Now, this could have to do with all of the 12th house energy work that you're doing, right? You're doing a lot of like, you're sort of in your shadow element right now, sort of working through things. So you might still be experiencing some sort of block in that area that you're going to resonate with. Others of you may just be feeling like, when is that whatever going to come in, right? When is that response going to come in? When is that person going to call me? When are they going to let me know? When is all of this going to start like moving on? Being in the space of waiting. This is a very psychological card though, right? And it's feeling like there's a block in something. While again, out in the 3D, you're busy tempering some sort of situation. I just feel like you're dealing with a challenging energy. Let's just say that. Not necessarily a bad energy. I'm not saying that. But let's see what the cards say. So we have the 3 of Cups in the near future. Good energy. This is an energy of abundance. Circle of support. emotional support, physical healing, emotional healing, good energy for new relationships. It's the energy of creation. So the fact that we got creation here, we have a Magician, we have the Four of Wands, like we have a lot of stuff here that very, very, very directly speaks to this idea of leveling something up, starting a new phase, and whatever that means for you. But we have the Page of Pentacles as the final outcome here. So some of you might be starting a new job, a new business, some sort of new something where your talent shines through. This can indicate money news coming in. Whatever it is, though, is an influence about progress, an auspicious beginning regarding something either having to do with finance, business, some sort of offer made on a property, finding something out about, maybe you're finding out that you got accepted into some sort of educational program that you've been trying to get into. This is an excellent energy for new beginnings, having to do with some sort of mental, physical, or emotional connection. The only thing here is just pay attention to your finances. I'm not saying it's going to be bad, just pay attention. But I like it. It's a very hardworking energy. Let's see what else we can get here. Yeah, Two of Wands, very nice. Get the Tower. High Priestess. Tower clarified by the High Priestess, Capricorn. How funny is this? Yes. You know what that means? Internal change. Yes, my friend. You are doing just so much beautiful change. I love it. I just love it. We have the Two of Wands. This makes sense. Making plans, moving forward, right? Gaining influence in work regarding your particular approach to something. But there are two aspects to the situation. You have to figure out which situation is going to best maximize your skill set. If it has to do with work, if it has to do with relationships. Some of you are meeting a new romantic partner, maybe through work or friends. For those of you who are coupled, you know, and you're not resonating with the other energies, the Two of Wands, again, is before that Three of Wands energy. So the Two of Wands is recognizing, hey, you know what, let's try a different approach. Maybe let's move. Should we stay? Should we go? Maybe let's move. Maybe let's do some work on our house. Or maybe let's just try something new. Let's try a different approach in the relationship. Let's do something new. Or this could just be you wanting new for your life, which I know a lot of Capricorns are going through. You know, you guys were the south node of the moon for a couple of years, and now I just always feel like, just historically speaking, over, you know, I'm 54, I've been doing this since my teens, so yeah, many, I have been doing this nodal energy for a very long time, and what I notice very consistently is that there is general a year of settling in after you've had your nodal return, or after the south node of the moon has been in one of your heavy placements, meaning your rising sign, or especially your rising or your sun sign. So now the gifts are coming in, right? So we have the Tower energy, really, which is about a necessary surrender. And when we have an internal Tower moment, it's recognizing, like, that thing that I've been allowing, no, it's got to go. That's not serving me. And if I keep doing what I did, I'm going to keep getting what I got. Now, some of you, you're going to be making a decision having to do with relationship, how you are in relationship, your career, wanting to go in a different direction altogether. It's like clean slate time, clean slate. And you know this intuitively, because you feel different. The High Priestess is a moon energy, and moon rules our emotions. You feel different. But you might not be talking to anybody about, like, how different you are feeling, because the High Priestess is sort of like, shh, don't tell anybody kind of thing. Now, I'm getting a separate message here, and I almost feel like this just came out of nowhere. I don't know who's resonating with this, but for some of you, I feel like, if this is resonating as a relationship read, the idea of moving forward in a relationship with somebody that you've been having an affair with ends. That's going to resonate with somebody. I don't know who needed to hear that. So clarifying the High Priestess, we have the pages, because this indicates hidden secrets. So it's like the secret ending, this coming down. And then we have the Page of Swords, though, which is very useful information coming in, getting help from people around you to further, if this has to do with work or some sort of idea like that. This has to do with some sort of contract. So this could have to do with either a job, a contract, an agreement, any kind of agreement. You might even be dealing with somebody who is very, a bit insensitive and very forthright, very sort of sharp with their tongue. Somebody who maybe doesn't speak before they talk. Speak before they talk. Think before they talk. Mercury retrograde is kicking my behind. It rules me. So I'm like, okay. We have the Five of Swords here, clarifying the Page of Wands. So some sort of information is revealed and there ends up being an argument, but you need to understand that whatever is argued about is not your stuff to fix. It's like there's this, the Five of Swords truly is a clash of what you want. There's a clash of what you want and the reality of a situation. So, right? Something is not what you really want it to be, and that tension creates this ongoing conflict. But the thing is, the core of the tension is not coming from your end. So you're better off just kind of stepping back and like just having some grace, dealing with your anger, your disappointment, whatever it is, because you can't mitigate their stuff. It's a minor arcana. It's the kind of thing where no matter how loud you yell, no matter how articulate you try to make your point, no matter how clear you think you're being, it doesn't matter. It's falling on deaf ears. So there's no changing a particular situation right now. So you're better off just sort of stepping away. And that's going to create a lot of anxiety. 3 a.m., overwhelmed, trouble sleeping, depression, just not responding well to the stress because your way out of something isn't really clear to you. It's just not really clear. Mm-hmm. I don't know, Capricorn, I just feel like you're just changing your whole, it's like your eyes are different. Your eyes are different regarding something, whether it's a relationship, a family member, something to do with work. As we have the Nine of Pentacles is really about, focusing on you, but not in a selfish way, right? This has to do with independent endeavors, focusing on yourself and it going well. This is doing really good work on yourself. Really good work on yourself. And then we have this Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles is negotiation, right? Needing to make a decision regarding more than one path because you feel a sense of lack in something, whether it's money, whether it's connection. There's a feeling of lack and you need to decide, am I going to do this or am I going to do that? Which am I going to do? And we have the Judgment energy, which is Pluto energy. It's all about transformation, right? And for you, this is happening in your first house, right? Keep in mind during this energy. So this can really have to do with, if it has to do with money, first of all, I like this for money because it's acknowledgement for your success coming in and your finances improving. So, who doesn't love that? Some of you might be in the space of needing to make a decision about property or something. You might even find yourself very drawn to an old property or a property that holds very special memories for you. So, particularly if you're dealing with any sort of like, inheritance, settling an estate, anything like that. But in relationship, the Judgment energy does indicate assessing the situation and be actively shifting into a new phase. So that for some of you, there might be this need for reconciliation if you think the relationship's worth it. If not, there's this understanding like everybody did the best that they could, but it's time to go. Like it can't continue the way it is. And then we have the Page of Cups here. Really good energy, right? About some sort of emotional aspect of your life. So for some of you, this is meeting a new partner. For others of you, this is starting a job that you really love. Page can also indicate a new cycle within relationship. So it can also be that. Interesting. Hold on a second. Wow, there's so much trepidation here. Because clarifying this Two of Cups energy here, which, the Page of Cups rather, did I say Two of Cups? I saw the Two of Cups here. That Page of Cups it's a proposal, right? Page of Cups is a proposal coming in. So it's good news coming in about either a new relationship, a new cycle in relationship, a new job, a new offer of something. But somebody's not being honest. Because we have dishonesty and this energy of immorality and running away and being selfish and having issues with boundaries. So for those I pulled to clarify the Seven of Swords, I pulled the Ace of Wands and the Three of Pentacles. So the Ace of Wands is a great energy. I mean, this is very auspicious for all areas of life. New beginnings, new enterprise, creative project, ideas popping. This is really good for passion, right? Because it's a new chapter of passion, creativity, motivation. The Three of Pentacles is about collabing, coming together. So it's almost like this new phase that you're going into, somebody's not being totally honest with you, or you at least feel like they're not. So then you have the conversation in the Two of Cups energy, where there's got to be this recognition that if it's not mutually supportive, it's not going to work. But this does indicate a conversation going well, right? Where if things were difficult, harmony returning. We have the Eight of Pentacles, figuring out what's necessary to make a situation work. How are we going to master this? How are we going to do? We have to focus on the responsibilities of whatever this is, this business, this marriage, this family connection, whatever it is. Let's focus on what really matters in a very diligent and hardworking way. It's a good energy, right? This does indicate money or a healthier relationship. It's on its way, but only because you're putting in the work. But then we have the Five of Cups, which is sadness and leaving a situation, right? Something ends before you feel ready for it, but you're going to be able to deal with it. So it's like you're putting your energy into something and then it ends up ending before you feel ready for it. And you're just in this space where it's like, I don't know what to do. This is feeling very trapped, very anxious, having a hard time concentrating because you feel like you don't belong in a situation anymore. You just feel like it's not working for you. It feels like there's a lot of like empty promises here. There's a lot of cyclical stuff. You might be dealing with a very unhealthy business partner. You might be dealing with an unhealthy family member where they're just sending you around the block, or even somebody in relationship. Then we have the Sun. So we like the Sun for several reasons, but you know, the most of which it brings you everything that you need in order to create what it is that you want. But it's only through recognizing that you don't feel comfortable in something anymore. We had the Three of Swords. So it's really just embracing, whether it's heartbreak, betrayal, depression, feeling like somebody let you down, whatever it is. The confusion's going to be gone. The truth is going to come out with this. Again, Three of Swords is also heart issues. I don't want to confuse you, but I feel like it's been coming up a lot for you guys. Good. Well, if it is heart issues, you're going to be recognizing like, hey, you know what I'm doing? I don't want to do it anymore. I want to get serious about my health. I can do this. And just stopping any sort of toxic behavior, eating unhealthy food, too much salt, whatever, and you getting some really good information and then moving forward about your health. So nice energy for your health, I could say that. And really nice energy as far as relationship too, as far as any business connection, whatever. It's the truth coming out, moving away from the toxicity, and then moving very quickly in a new area. Great news coming in, moving in a different direction. So it seems like a lot is going to be going on, but you're just going to be sort of sitting back and just processing a lot of stuff internally. Very interesting. So we're going to go on to relationship now. Now, this relationship read may resonate as an extension of this, if you resonated with this as relationship, or totally different. Let's pull a couple of Healing Yourself oracles. And don't be frustrated if you're confused right now. And the reason is because when we have an eclipse in the Sag North Node, when it's squaring Jupiter, what happens there, it can tend to pull the energy of Sag slightly into its shadow element. And that's where, the part of the Sagittarius energy where it struggles, and it can struggle in decisiveness. And it's not because the reason Sagittarius energies become indecisive is because they want as much information as they can possibly gather, and then they want to make an educated decision. So it's trying to gather as much information. But the thing is, when you're dealing with this square to Jupiter, chances are you're never going to have really all the information. None of us are. So whatever we're feeling confused about, it's just like some things we're just meant to be confused about, and just wait and see how it rolls out, right? Hole in the soul. First card out. Self-sabotage. Okay. Well, always good to look at where we might get in our own way. Somebody wrote me a very interesting message. I don't remember if it was in the comments or if it was in an email. But they were upset when I said I discussed self-sabotage, and they explained what it is. They didn't believe in what it is. So I just want to make sure, because everybody's different ages, different stages, just so you understand these energies. Self-sabotage means fear that we typically aren't fully aware of. And it's that fear that drives particular responses that we execute, typically in any kind of relationship. It doesn't have to be intimate only. It could be in a friendship, family situation, whatever it is. So it could be the energy of like, let me end this relationship before I get hurt in it, right? That could be a fear of abandonment manifested. There can be self-sabotage. It could be staying in something way past its expiration date because, you really don't want to be alone, and maybe there were abandonment issues in your early childhood. There could be, if you were raised in an environment where maybe you had if you're a woman, and I'm just saying this as an example, if you're a woman and you were raised in a house with a very aggressive father, you could go one of two ways that could sabotage. You can either go after somebody who's incredibly abusive also, because there's a level of energetic comfort in that, even though you don't like to recognize that. Or you go actually in the other end of the spectrum. And the second anybody says anything that could be remotely controlling or remotely, you like end it. You're like, no, that's not going to work for me. So you can become very controlling. Those are some basic examples. And all of those, the underpinning emotion that drives that is fear. We don't do it because we want to do it. It's not like we sit down and we're like, oh, how can we get in our own way today? We can even have self-sabotaging energies when it comes to career. Have these false narratives running in our head that we're not good enough. We're not enough. No matter how much we bring to the table, it doesn't matter degrees, it doesn't matter experience, it doesn't matter all of that. If we have that scared little pink voice in our belly saying, but you're not enough. Didn't they tell you? Didn't they tell you you're not enough? Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So that's self-sabotaging. And we're talking about a hole in the soul. This is about, we have a soul and we should have it whole, literally, right? W-H-O-L-E, right? A whole. But there can be these sort of, sort of broken out crevices, right, in our soul that we look to other people to actually fill. So how do those holes in our soul happen? By some sort of lack in our life that creates some sort of vulnerability, insecurity, and fear. And so we look to somebody else to fill it, right? Whether it's through their attention, their validation, being able to level up our life through marriage, being able to level up our social life through a partner's social network, right? Where we're having that need filled through someone else, instead of saying, okay, you know what, let me recognize where I feel the sense of lack and let me build around that. If I have a lot of fear around money, I'm going to do everything I can to go out and build a new career for myself, whatever I have to do. I'm going to make myself go out. If it's with friends, I'm going to go make myself meet new friends. I'm going to create a new network for myself. I'm going to bring that to myself. Whatever it is, being able to bring to yourself, right? Yeah. Sorry about the extended explanation there, but it had to be on a video because a lot of people were commenting. It ended up being like this thing. So I figured, I was like, okay, mental note, I have to talk about that the next time that card comes up. So you guys were the lucky ones. Okay, dealing with this Knight of Swords energy. Can reverse. So 10 of Pentacles coming into this, a family energy, some marriage energy, family maturity, deepening commitment, shared values, property shared. Yeah, definitely it's one of the marriage cards as well. Just a deepening of commitment, wanting to do things together. This is like a deep kind of relationship. This is not like it was flippant. So either you were married, you were close to being married, you guys lived together, you shared things. There was shared things here. Shared things. And then we have the Hermit energy, and it's being challenged by the Knight of Swords in the reverse. So the Hermit energy can indicate you being alone right now, right? Doing some healing, problem solving energy, because it's a Virgo, right? So if you're alone, it's because whatever you were in up to this point didn't work out because it wasn't meant for you. So it's time to really work on yourself and think about your past experiences so mistakes aren't repeated in the future. And if you're in a relationship now, though, then this is time to put a lot more energy and a lot more focus to smooth over any issues that truly, truly need addressing, right? So it's like you know that. But what's getting in your way, like what's challenging you, is the Knight of Swords in the reverse, which is very deliberately cruel energy. Somebody who's very prone to outbursts, somebody who's very difficult, very roller coaster energy. Could even be like an imbalance. Somebody who might have like an issue with like regulating their personality is kind of like almost what I get there. And then we have the crowning energy is the Knight of Pentacles, though. So the Knight of Pentacles is a very, first of all, being very smart right now, right? There can be an energy that you're dealing with is very loyal and dependable, who has a lot to offer, but they might be a bit boring and slow to share their feelings. But depending on what it is that you're looking for, they could be your rock, but they might lack excitement to capture your heart for the long term in a really satisfying way. Depending on where you're at, you might be this to them, they might be this to you, right? They could be loyal and dependable and all of that, but they could also be rather volatile. So very interesting. Now, for some of you, this can also indicate some sort of like increase in connection coming into you, but you're gonna have to work a lot harder in the relationship if this is going to work in order for it to be stable and secure. There's going to be a lot of active work that's going to be necessary. We have as the foundation right now, we have the 10 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups is about contentment. This is just really what you want, benefits of security, great energy for family partnerships, what you're working on finally coming together, you know, just things coming together. And we have the Ace of Cups. It's very interesting to me. I'm getting two. It's like two very different energies here. Because Ace of Cups is a great energy, right? I mean, this is about, you know, existing relationships being strong, loving, and supportive. This also indicates falling in love with somebody new. If you're single, this is a spiritual growth energy, right? Creative time, something that matters to you coming to fruition, really nice. Some of you finding out that you're pregnant. Like these are all like happy things, right? And this is showing up in your energy. So you're like very like between the 10 of Cups and the Ace of Cups, you're just like negative energy, go away. I don't want to even look at you. I don't want to deal with you. You're in a mode of self-protection right now. This is surrounding you. Now you may also be dealing with an energy like this in relationship where security is very important to them. And they're in the space of really, really watching their resources or closing themselves off a little bit because they're not very open. They're afraid of getting hurt. And that could certainly be, you know, something that ends up coming up with the Knight of Pentacles, is somebody who's very sort of slow to share their feelings. They're not very communicative. They're not very open, you know. They go for other things, but not that. You know what I'm saying? So that could be tough because we have the Seven of Pentacles as your challenge, as your block, right? This is a Saturn and Taurus energy. So it's about putting a lot of work into something and feeling like it's going to pay off and you being patient and all of that. And that's really hard for you right now. Like right now, I just feel like your patience has reached the end. There's something that you're not willing to do anymore here. You're just not wanting to do it. I mean, you might want to do it, but you're really not really willing to do it. We have the Sun in the near future. It's in the reverse. So there's some sort of delay. This could indicate temporary depression as well. Just being in the space of waiting, right? And what's tricky about the Sun reverse, it's still very positive no matter how it is. It just means like a not yet kind of energy, but also because you feel like you don't have total control over something. Not that anyone has total control over anything in a relationship, right? It's two people, but it's almost like any issue in the relationship is really not really able to be fixed by you alone, but you're not dealing with somebody who's being very, very communicative, right? So that's the thing. And that's frustrating because I feel like you see the value and the potential in something, but they're not on that same page with you. So you just want to be very, very careful, Capricorn. I don't know if you're in some sort of unhealthy cyclical patterning with a relationship. It may be time to really get super serious about looking at that. We have the Ten of Wands, and this is the card of overwhelm and just burden and just too much. Now, for some of you, your relationship might be neglected at the moment because of other things going on in life right now. You might not even feel very receptive to what I'm saying right now in this reading. It's like you don't want to hear it because you may feel like there's really nothing that you can ultimately do about it. King of Cups indicates that there's a need that exists to settle a conflict either within yourself or with somebody else regarding the relationship and a new beginning, and the sense of lack that you feel in the connection. There needs to be emotions shared because you feel very disappointed and disillusioned about the relationship, and you're starting to believe that something's just ultimately not going to work out, and it's pushing you to make this decision about the relationship. And yet you're in this space where one part of you is like, look, this is what I want, need, and desire in the relationship, right? And like maybe you're talking to your friends or your family about the relationship, and they're like, look, if it's not working, it's not working. And you're in this space where you actually feel energetically, at least, that you need to defend the relationship, even though you know that there's something painful about this for you. There's a pain of a truth. This has to do with heartbreak, pain, depression. But there being the lights thrown on. The lights are going to be thrown on. You're going to have clarity in something. Chariot is moving away. And you're stepping really kind of just into where you're supposed to be going, into your power. This is events speeding up, decisions coming in. You're just firing up your ambition. Now, the Knight of Wands, if this is a person, this is somebody who makes snap judgments about things, but they could be very charismatic, very talkative. No, let's talk about things, right? There's pain, and then there's this like, look, I can't deal with this. This is too unhealthy for me. And then somebody coming in and trying to schmooze over the situation, and you ending up like up at 3 o'clock in the morning, worried, depressed, not responding well to the external stress of it all. And we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. We didn't get many reversals at all. The Nine of Cups in reverse is really about, there's greed here, and there's somebody looking for quick results, but there's somebody here not ready to put the necessary work into the connection that you are having with them. And you feel the sense of lack. You feel it. You feel it. And really, I mean, this is the kind of thing where if you're going to stay in something where somebody's not giving you what it is that you need, you're going to have to figure out a way of being okay with that. But it looks like staying in this situation is a form of self-sabotage. Like, why are you allowing that if they're not showing up in any kind of authentic way? Yeah, final card. Moving on, you know, detaching, allowing space to do some really good internal work, which is what you're going to be doing. And some of you might just, you know what, maybe if you can, Capricorn, I don't know where you're at with your life and your money and all of that, but if you can take a trip, if you can go away somewhere and just clear your head, you know, Six of Swords can indicate it's very supportive of literal travel as well. To get away from everything, you know. All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful in some way. Thank you so much for joining me. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.